Hey guys, welcome back to Lunatic Astrology. I'm your astrologer, Lori Lothian, and today we're talking about the grit and the grace of the month of November. In November, we have a new moon in Scorpio directly opposite Uranus by partile, 12 degrees, 12 degrees. It's very intense. We'll address that briefly. We're going to talk about the eclipse in the middle of the month on the November 19th, which is also very intense. On a star called Algol, which can, in its own Medusa head way, be very intense. And then also we have this kind of gritty T-square action happening. That's the grit. The grace and the gritty T-square is Mars and Uranus and Mars and Saturn. Not as precise as a one-time T-square, but you can basically call the middle of the month like pretty harsh energies between November the 9th and let's say November the 18th. And then lastly, we're going to talk about the grace, and that's Venus going into Capricorn, where she's going to be for 4 months. She doesn't leave Capricorn. She enters around November the 5th, and she doesn't leave Capricorn until March the 6th. That's because she will retrograde there in December through to January 29th. And we're going to talk a little bit about why that's the grace in the grit of November. And this is a gorgeous time for everyone to benefit from 4 months of Venus in Capricorn, individually and collectively. Now, there's a strange thing that you can see, like a mirage of something there. That must be the lamp behind me, and I have no idea what's doing that. And if you notice that my eye is kind of weird, I just got the worst case of pink eye and blepharitis I've ever had. And I want to shout out my sister Nancy Lynn of Healing with Nancy Lynn, who did a healing session with me yesterday. And literally the swelling and the grit and the sand feeling in my eye went down by 50% after the Reiki long distance healing. Okay, so I am down today as well, treating this baby with some antibiotic eye ointment, but never discount healing as a super modality. I want to say she's a portal opener, because every time I journey, she does a healing on me at a distance, I go into this trance-like state and I talk to spirit angels and guides, and I think it's the way she does the energy healing. She's always been a healer. She was a nurse for 30 years. She opens up portals. So you might want to check her out. I literally talked to an alien from another plane of reality yesterday. Oh my God, who was haunting me in my sleep last night as well. Okay, let's get rolling. So first of all, when it comes to a month like this, I don't want to harp on the intensity without saying something. Intensity happens for a reason. We need it. We need to grow through it. If you have a T-square in your chart or a grand cross, it is intense, but the intensity grows us. It makes us into something great. So the oyster creates the pearl from the grit of discontent, right? That old saying. If you don't know it, that's a cool one. That pearl is literally caused by something that the oyster doesn't like. It's gritty, and it circles it to like contain it, like containing a tumor, and it becomes what we call a beautiful pearl. So think about it that way. There is this incredible process of tension this month of October that's going to lend itself to something beautiful. Now let's talk about in general and then all signs. Remember, like, subscribe, and hit the notifications bell. I always forget to tell you that. Remember, check the description box below for whatever I've got going on. Remember, join my newsletter, get a 30% off any reading with me. Never expires, one-time use as soon as you sign up. And you get all kinds of advance notice and early bird things as well. And 2 free draws for 2 free readings every month. So why not join my weekly newsletter? Lastly, if you're a rising sign, it's the best. If you know your rising sign, please listen to the all signs first for your rising. Sun and moon are useful as well. You can listen for all 3 signs. It always rounds out the picture in some way. And if you're born at night, maybe the moon's a little bit more accurate. If you're born when the sun's above the ascendant, descendant, or the daytime, then you would definitely prefer maybe the power of the sun reading in the all signs portion of this reading. I'm going to see if I can pull this off in 90 minutes. Okay, this is something new I'm trying. Thank you for your great reception to my October all signs. I got a lot of great feedback from you guys, and I really appreciate it. I do these videos because I enjoy sharing the wisdom and knowledge of astrology, but I also love when I get love back. So thank you. All right. So first of all, the new moon on November the 4th is going to happen at 12 degrees of the sign. Oh, is it November the 4th? I better check my dates. I think it is. That's too funny, Lori. You don't even know. November the 4th, yeah, at 12 degrees of Scorpio. Now, with Uranus retrograding at 12 degrees of Scorpio in Taurus across the way, for the collective, this energy can be something to do with unexpected or jolting surprises, but also Uranus is retrograde. And my experience of that tends to be that it's less about disturbing, jolting circumstances as it is about inner clarity, pineal gland downloads, and insights that come from the retrogradation of the sky god Uranus, right? So you may not see it in the outer world. You may find that it's something happening inside of you that's illuminating something on this new moon. So if you are, of course, an angular sign with planets near 12 degrees, so ascendant sun or moon near 12 Scorpio, 12 Leo, 12 Taurus, or 12 Aquarius, you'll feel this a lot more, okay, than like everyday people, average Joes. I'll feel it a lot. My Saturn ascendant is in this angle, in that range of that new moon. So keep it in mind. New moons are new beginnings. Something fresh is starting to happen. Something new is trying to take off in your life. And you have a chance to plant new seeds. Don't try to do magic on the moon. Wait till a couple of days after. You want to get the moon out of the darkness and into the beginning of the waxing phase in general. But, you know, new moon intentions, maybe you can see them in the dark, dark, dark of the moon. But I always think you should wait a day or two. So I'm going to be doing the all signs to talk about how that moon gives you a jolt of something. But in your own life, you can expect something new to be planted, some new beginning. And you might find that the sun, moon are on a star up there at the time of the new moon, and the star is AQUARIUS. And AQUARIUS has to do with spiritual wisdom, compassion. It's a guardian angel star. Wrote some notes, a quest for courage, wisdom, spiritual growth, and wholeness. So it's got a lot of woo to it. And then Uranus is retrograde. So this could be a very sort of enlivening of your inner life, your spirituality, some new ideas that come from like the old pineal gland download. Next, we can also talk for the collective how this could be very disruptive. Uranus is in a sign of currency and food production, Taurus, and food supply chain. And it could, in fact, mean that there's some increasing disruptions in the couple of weeks that follow the new moon around supply and food chain stuff in general around the world. We're already seeing some of that. And also maybe a toppling in the currencies or crypto or stock market. Now, I'm not saying a new moon normally produces that, but Mars is pretty close to that moon. He's at 3 degrees and the new moon's at 12. So I would say there's a possibility of some kind of downdraft or cutting or slicing or paring away of something with Mars up there for the collective. I wouldn't be surprised then, I'm saying that probably within the month at least after this moon, we're not seeing some major economic disruption or stock market corrections. Just saying. Could be wrong. Now, you also have, I'm only going to cover 4 things this month. I can't do everything or we'd be here all day, honestly. So I'm going to cover 4 highlights that I think are interesting. We do have a T-square forming this time around from something that's been going on in the sky for quite a while. And so that Mars square Saturn happening in the sky is not something new. Mars squared Saturn as well earlier in the year. So we've been seeing this pattern. So we're continuing a narrative. Mars was in Taurus squaring Saturn, and then he was opposing from Leo, and now he's squaring again from Scorpio. So we keep coming back to this sort of energy that's plaguing the collective of Mars, the go-getter, the foot on the gas, and Saturn, the brake. This is an activation of energy that can be irritating, frustrating, and combative. Saturn can be authority, and Mars can be activism or protests or not really a rebellion, but a pushing against something. Now, this time Mars is doing the square to Saturn from a place of dignity, which he hasn't had before. And so this November 9th to 12th, Mars in his home sign of Scorpio, okay, pushing Saturn in Aquarius. They both have dignity. This is a very intense energy. You know, Mars may want to remove the veneer that keeps things hidden. He cuts away things. He may slice away things that were veiling our clarity about something going on for the collective. And Saturn is opposing that slicing away. So maybe some deep revealing of something in the underbelly of government, in banking, and money, and currency. I'm remembering, you know, in my mind that, you know, Uranus is pitted against Scorpio, you know, really during the entirety of this year. So, you know, unexpected, sudden jolts of information that can be revealed with Mars's help Thanks, Mars, around November 9th to 12th, as he squares Saturn in Aquarius. And Saturn is in dignity, and Saturn is in direct motion, and Mars is in dignity, Mars is in direct motion. The feeling is intense. What is coming out in the news cycle that is going to be disruptive, intense energy around 9th to the 12th of the month of November? In the US Sibley natal chart, which I find to be extremely accurate, Scorpio is the 12th house of hidden things, backroom deals, secrets, weird stuff in the United States chart where Mars is coming from when he is squaring Saturn. And Saturn is in the United States third house of the neighborhoods, the media, by the way, the media belongs there, your newspapers and magazines. So what is going on? The whole fake news story or mainstream media is bullshit. Well, probably is, but something is up. Some disclosure is happening. It could be that the media wants to sideline it, or it could be that the media is the authority for where it comes from. So we'll see what happens. This could be like a new breaking New York Times story that has all the news that's fit to print in the middle of the month. Or again, as I said, we're also prone to disruptions in food supply, currency, and stock markets during that window of time. Now, around November 16th to 18th, that same Mars moving through the sign of Scorpio is again going to pick up an opposition to Uranus. Now, Uranus, the guy in Taurus, the food supply, the currency, the agriculture, all of that stuff, the same place he was during the Great Depression and the Dust Bowl era. Well, now Mars is going to task with him. Now, Uranus is debilitated in Taurus, according to modern astrology. And according to, of course, all astrology, Mars is dignified in Scorpio, or at least ancient astrology. Pluto doesn't own the territory, Mars does. So now we've got this strong Mars going against Uranus, the god of rebellion, change, iconoclasm, invention. Now, Mars opposite Uranus is very volatile energy. One's a sky god full of lightning bolts and thunderous change and sudden developments and unpredictable, unexpected stuff. And then Mars is just Mars, right? Warrior, ambition, champion energy. My feeling is that, first of all, if we're talking about the United States, which I tend to do a lot because most of my clients are there, I'd say that Mars opposing Uranus in this particular story could look a lot like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, something to do with United States labor laws or the people and how work and the work life of the people. And it could also have to do with something to do with backroom deals being hammered out, but with surprising and unexpected developments, something like that. The sixth house is generally a house of sickness, and it's the United States sixth house where Uranus is transiting. Of course, we had a plague, but maybe unexpected developments around the pandemic as well, regarding the people and the pandemic. And with Mars, it could be revelations that are coming forth that could be disturbing, or all of that. So we'll see what happens. We'll just see what happens, oh my God, there's a new variant that the vaccines don't work against at all. Yuck. Or, oh my God, there's some vaccine consequences showing up in the world we didn't expect. And don't forget, I'm not political, and I'm not an advocate for or against vaccines. I'm just talking about sky stories. So don't somebody unsubscribed from my channel because you thought I was promoting vaccination. I'm just neutral, guys. At least on this channel, I am aiming for neutrality. All right. And I'm Canadian, so I'm not a Republican, nor am I a Democrat. All right, moving forward. And then a sky story for the collective. What else do I want to talk about? Venus is trining Uranus on November the 19th. And now, don't forget, I like Venus. She's a benefic. She's bringing goodness and sweetness to the narrative. Now she's going to make a beautiful Earth trine to Uranus from Capricorn. She's going direct. She's just gotten into the sign on November 5th, and on November 19th, she makes a trine to Uranus. Now, this could be some good financial news for the stock markets. This could be some good news for supply chain stuff, for currencies, and that kind of thing. And because she's in her boss babe shoulder pads, 1980s look, Capricorn, businesswoman vibe in Capricorn, Venus in Capricorn. And, she's leaning into that, looking over at Uranus in Taurus, trying to operate in a way that she's going to bring something good. And Venus is traveling through the United States second house of money, and she's trining Uranus. So it could be some turnaround story around turbulent stock market stuff with a happy ending, or some positive development in that area. Now, I do think that also Venus is likely a female in business or power, Capricorn, with an unexpected news story breaking out, but it's a good one because it is a trine to Uranus. All right, so keep that in mind. And in your individual all signs, it'll go into how this might impact you based on your rising sign and stuff. Then lastly, we have the longer period of November 21st to 28th, in which Venus is sextiling Mars. So those are the cosmic lovers, guys. They're hot for each other. They're totally down for, like, you know, wild, crazy, passionate engagement. But sextiles are flirty and friendly, and they're the nature of Venus. So it kind of has a sizzle to it. So sometimes when the sextile occurs, which is like twice every year, you can find that there's sparks of love that fly, and, you know, friendly new friends show up and new friendships are formed. So that's a general theme, right? But, you know, Venus is in Capricorn, Mars is in Scorpio. Mars is more dignified, so there's an upper hand there. I would say, although Venus is the faster planet and she's creating this action, Mars is the one stabilizing it. For each of us, it's going to be something different. But let's say for the collective story, like using the United States birth chart, for example, backroom machinations and deals lend itself to a positive financial outcome at the end of the day. Mars and Venus could be collaborating in a fusion of polarity, masculine, feminine, Republican and Democrat, left and right, to resolve something. I know the United States has to, you know, change the debt ceiling and stuff, but I mean, it does bode well in general for some kind of resolution of what looks like earlier financial and stock market and economic uncertainty and turbulence mid-month. Now, that doesn't give us escape from the eclipse on November the 19th. So that eclipse is on a star Algol, which has to do with the Medusa's head. It's sitting at 27 degrees of Taurus. And it can mean that there's going to be some kind of catalytic upset that could happen, like off with their heads. Someone gets fired, someone gets deposed, someone gets, you know, assassinated. I hate to say it. With the Venus overlay, it's in Taurus, and the Medusa head, Perseus slaying the Medusa and chopping her head off. She was a Gorgon who turned people to stone. It could be a very powerful woman falling from power. And we'll see that play out somewhere in the collective, not necessarily on November 19th. The eclipse can happen, you know, a month before and 6 months after. This thing ripples out and through the world. You know, in the United States chart, that Taurus chunk of real estate, it's a sixth house of the United States chart. You know, again, the workaday, the work routines, the labor, maybe the labor unions, or maybe something to do with the health and the pandemic story. That's where Uranus is sitting as well. You know, the eclipse is happening with Uranus co-present, you know. So again, it amplifies that energy of that shock and awe factor that this eclipse wants to produce. Now, Algol can bring wealth in business as well. So that could be positive, you know, but I still don't, Algol is generally a malefic. So I'm more concerned about dire consequences that are shocking and disturbing that follow that eclipse in the 6 months that follow that storyline. Especially in the United States, especially in the United States, eclipse cycle is going to activate a lot of intensity for the US. As the next cycle goes through the 12th, 6th house of the United States chart. So this is the first eclipse cycle, first eclipse. This is a beginning of a longer narrative, and this is a lunar eclipse. Sometimes I find a lunar eclipse is revealing, or it gives us a revelation individually and collectively that allows us to make change because we see things under the new lunar light, okay, of an eclipse, which is all full moon shed light. And then a lunar eclipse has a red light, and it's kind of eerie, but it allows us to see something new. Anything else I want to say? At the end of November, Mercury will conjunct the sun. This isn't that rare, but it's just a sweet spot in the sky around November 27th to 29th. And I think that we can all look forward to a bit of a sweetness to that end of the month where things like lighten up a bit. Yeah, I'm going to call it a lightening up at the end of the day, or the light at the end of the tunnel. or something like that. And let me just say a bit more about that, okay? Because when we get to the end of November, the sun is now migrated, out of the Scorpio zone and into Sagittarius. And so we know Sagittarius brings hope, faith, enthusiasm, forward momentum, travel, maybe a lightening of travel restrictions could happen. Good news around travel restrictions, around the vaccine passport systems, lightening it up. Maybe Delta took a nosedive with Mars having been invisible and reborn in the sky, which I didn't mention. I should mention that, but I don't know if I'm going to do it for the all signs. I won't. Mars will be visible again in the middle of the month, around the middle of November. And that's going to be a time around the 23rd of November. That's going to be a time where Mars is giving us new Scorpio sky stories for the collective for 2 years. All right, keep that in mind. US Erie natal chart, 12th house stuff. But I'm really thinking aloud here. With Mercury conjunct the sun November 27th to the 29th, I do feel, and Mars, the god of plagues and pandemics, rising in Scorpio, not Virgo, which caused the pandemic or didn't cause it, but reflected a pandemic was likely to happen when he rose in Virgo in 2019. I mean, something he does every 24 years only. I think that the plague and pandemic story is coming to an end by the third week of November for some strange reason, like a catastrophic drop in Delta numbers or something, or it's endemic, we're just going to live with it. And possibly Mercury conjunct the sun November 27th to 29th, vibrationally energy, it's all around that time. It's a cazimi, of course. It's a time to get a good download, but it could, as Mars comes out into the visible part of the sky again in early December, there could be, because it's happening in Sagittarius, a breaking through to some new news about travel, and probably more freedom and less restriction, especially given that whole energy is sextiling the Saturn, Jupiter, and Aquarius. So I think we're going to have a lightening of government control around pandemic lockdowns and globally, and maybe travel restrictions. Okay. So that's, I don't even know if I'm looking at you guys, I'm looking at my chart. So sorry. And I've got one eye working. I kind of have to close this eye half the time because it's still swollen and half open. I'm in my 12th house perfection age. I'm going to just do a video on all the perfection ages, a series of them. And I can tell you, if you're in your 12th house perfection age, 4th house or 8th, get ready for some weird sickness to befall you. Okay, let's get rolling for the all signs portion of the reading. I did try to put my timer on just so I can timestamp this now instead of trying to go back and listen to my video later, or get my daughter to do it, and half the time she doesn't want to. So hang on, I'm going to start the first sign, but I want to get my timestamps right. I'm not going to stop my video just to do it. So please be patient with me while I write down the time. It's around the 20-minute mark. Did I really talk that long? Shoot. Wow. Okay. Around the 20-minute mark, we're moving forward to the all signs. Okay, so today we're going to do first all sign. I like to change it up. We're just starting with Aquarius. I'm in the mood. Okay, so Aquarius, sun, moon, and rising sign. You're going to experience this as a month in which, because you are getting the grit of being angular to a lot of the action, you're going to feel a lot of the action. This is going to be a time of intensity for you, and you may feel like there's a lot of change happening or getting ready to happen. So take some chamomile tea, settle down, try to your magnesium, and get some deep breaths. One of the first things to, of course, consider is how will you be impacted by the moon on November the 4th in Scorpio, and it's opposing Uranus in Taurus. Well, this is about career and home, career and home, career and home. What are you going to do in the career home axis of the chart? And that could be very significant. Some of you may change your home, believe it or not. Yes, I know you guys have been under a lot of nomad transit with Uranus, and some of you have done a lot of home changes. There's maybe more ahead. This new moon could open a gateway to a sudden unexpected development about where you want to live, 4th house, and that could be exciting, new beginnings, new directions. Keep it in mind. I like that. I think some of you will have that. New beginnings and directions in your career as well are being activated, and you may have new ideas, new opportunities, and new yum stuff happening out of the blue, new ideas around what you want to do in your career path. All right. Now, when it comes to, and your reputation and status as well, when it comes to that gritty T-square thing that's happening, I think that Mars squaring Saturn, November 9th to the 12th, from your 10th house to your 1st house, is a time to be really cautious with your body. I wouldn't travel necessarily then. I would be careful you don't push yourself to the limit. Mars wants to go, Saturn wants to slow down. Who's going to win? They're both equally strong. So you can get beleaguered, worn down. You could, face a bodily injury if you're not careful. It's like all the action you're taking in your career could affect your health, or all the action you're taking to attain greater status and reputation could wear you down physically. So watch out for that. Or you may have a physical constraint that slows you down in the career part of your chart. So get ready for that. I just say, be proactive around it and don't push yourself too much during the November 16th to 18th timeframe. Then later on, of course, the same, story is, what about the opposition energy that Mars is going to pick up? Oh, did I say November 9th to 12th? I hope I did. What I just said was about November 9th to 12th, and then November 16th to 18th, it's Mars opposing Uranus. Now there's more of that move. Mars loves to travel, go places. He's in Scorpio dignity. He wants to move. He wants to move forward in your career. He's really giving you 6 weeks of career strength up here in Scorpio, guys. You guys should be loving this vibe of having Mars going through your 10th house. But Aquarius, that opposition to Uranus in your 4th house of home, either you're having sudden changes in the home environment that are not letting you do all the things you want to do in your career, you're traveling and it's interfering with your career, or you're having great momentum in your career and excitement happening about a new direction you could go, a new opportunity to move Mars regarding Uranus, 4th house, unexpected, maybe surprising developments there. Exciting, think exciting too, Uranus, exhilarating as well. All right, then Venus is trining Uranus around November 19th, that sweet piece of sky, the grace that in the grit is Venus in her bust babe shoulder pads. Okay, so, she's in Capricorn. She's in a house of resources and finances that can be obtained through business from foreign lands, or trips to foreign lands that you could take for your soul or your spiritual development. But Venus is going to be in your 4th house for 4 months. So it's nothing new. She's just starting her journey in your 12th house, I should say. But it is a trine to Uranus on November 19th. Could be, is there something about moving or relocating or changing something in or about your home that can bring you great succor and ease and peace in your soul? Can feel like you're heading into a time of sanctuary in your home, or because of things that are changing around your home. And lastly, finishing strong with the eclipse and then the tail end of the year. Well, I have a whole eclipse video coming, but just to touch base very quickly on that eclipse. Hey, it's an eclipse that's going to trigger something in the home part of the chart. You're getting a story, Aquarius. There's a lot of home change going on here. 27 degrees on head of Algol in your 4th house. Honestly, it could be the landlord is going to tear the building down. It could be that you have an opportunity to move, and it could bring you great wealth and success. Algol can bring wealth, and it can bring, dramatic sudden endings like death, head chopped off. Both are possible. So if you have a sudden reason to move, it will lead to something good, but it may be destabilizing at first. The eclipse is on the 19th, but it unrolls up to a month before and up to 6 months after. And because, of that time frame that's longer, it's lunar as well. I find lunar eclipses don't force your hand, but reveal to you what is needed in order for you to take action. So no one's forcing anything here. I actually think it's under your own agency. And lastly, the end of the year, Cazimi, Mercury conjunct the sun around the 27th to 29th of November, is a really nice piece of sky for you in Sagittarius. I think you could find yourself coming into some revelation, some kind of understanding about what you really want as your truest dream, hope, and desire for your life. The 11th house is your hopes, your wishes, your aspirations, and your dreams for what you want. It's a house of karmic rewards. It's a house of good spirit. It's your genie in a bottle place as well, your cosmic fairy godmother. Is there anything that you think you might want to wish for? Well, I'm telling you, make a wish, you Aquarians, at the end of November, because these wishes could come true. I like that. I'm an Aquarius rising, so I made that just for me. And you, not just for me. All right, so I can't get comfortable today. I'm either cold or I'm hot, so bear with my wardrobe machinations. Okay, so next we're going to talk about, in order, of course, Pisces, sun, moon, and rising sign, and time stamping. Oh, my phone keeps turning off 27 minutes. So Pisces, sun, moon, and rising sign folk. Let's start at the very beginning. We have this illustrious beginning with a new moon November the 4th at 12 Scorpio. And opposite 12 Uranus in Taurus. So, hey, if you're a Pisces rising, this is not so intense for you guys, okay? Unlike the angular to this stuff, and unlike the fixed signs, let's call them, you're going to feel this is actually much, much softer. So number one, how can you use it? Because it is quite soft. Let me just hang on a sec. Holy man, I'm having a hot flash. I'm changing my chart so I can see Pisces on the screen. So first of all, number one, it's happening in a subtle place of the chart, right? Compared to, all of that. It's happening in your ninth house of between the worlds or metacosmos house. I'm going to open my window, guys. Now it's so hot in here. I'm in a building where I find the heat is kind of weird. I can't control it properly. I have the heat off in my unit, but it's sweltering in here. Okay, so yeah, I am moving. This is just a way station. Oh, all right. So the ninth house is a house of higher education, foreign shores, and your dharma, the path you're supposed to walk in your life that's true for you. So ask yourself how this new moon could set you in motion towards any of those themes. And if you want to write or publish a book, this is the same house. So you can get some new seeds planted, new beginnings around something you may wish to publish or to create that will be one day published. Guides, mentors, and spiritual teachers exist up in the ninth house. So you might find one of those people, new beginnings, showing up in the month or so after this new moon. Secondly, we're going to move on, because I'm trying to keep this pithy this time, to what happens when Mars will square Saturn November 9th to 12th. And then later, we're going to talk about Uranus 16th to 18th. So this is a gritty sky time, 9th to the 18th, the middle of November. And we even have that eclipse on the 19th. So we're going to just call the middle of November the grit, right? Now that grit, okay, for you guys is happening because Mars in his dignity in your ninth house of Dharma purpose and higher education and book publishing and academics is squaring dignified, solid, rock solid Saturn in your 12th house. Your house of self-undoing, addictions, self-sabotage, hidden enemies, your inner life, your dreams at night sometimes, your meditations. I mean, you've got that Saturn transit till 2023 March, so you may as well get used to it. Saturn is getting you to go into an excavation of the really the part of the chart where you can really undo your own best interests. So Saturn can bring wise guides and sages and teachers that help you fix that problem, and can make you very solitary and very alone as you go through this process of excavation. However, you'll come out reborn at the other end when Saturn hits your first house and gives you new authority in 2023. But until then, this sky story is a part of that. So Mars from the 9th squaring that Saturn in your 12th, you could really pay attention to spiritual guides or mentors right now. If they have some information for you or some news, it may not be something you're welcoming. It may feel frictiony. It may feel like someone's giving you a talking to, Mars is Scorpio. It may feel stinger-like, but if you get something like that, like a teacher, a guide, or a mentor giving you stinging kinds of energy, telling you how to stop undoing yourself, just listen to it. If you want to go to a trip on a foreign land, this is not a good time. Mars and squaring Saturn. Mars would like to do it. Saturn is saying, break it, don't do it. So don't do it. It's not a really good time to choose to travel. That's all I'll say. And then later on, Mars will oppose Uranus, November 16th to the 18th. And for you, this Uranus is going through your third house of trips and travel. So again, not a good time for you to consciously choose to make a journey, especially if it involves long distance travel. And you can also find that things with siblings could get really heated up. A conflict or an argument or disagreement with a sibling, an aunt or uncle or cousin can happen November 16th to 18th with the opposition from Mars. So lay low and try not to get into a conflict. If it does, it's going to be sudden. It'll come out of the blue. It might blow up. On the other hand, a sibling could really be supporting you. Uranus could bring internet support in the third house of social media and online world, and Mars could be getting things going with action. So help from a sibling or an aunt or uncle or cousin. It doesn't always have to be negative. All righty, but it's a gritty mid sky for you. Don't travel, it's my advice for Pisces, November 9th to the 18th. I think you're going to regret that choice if you do. It'll be difficult. Venus is trining Uranus with a bit of grace in the grid on November the 19th. Love this sky story. She's got her shoulder pads on as she goes through Capricorn, where she's going to be for a long time. Yes, like until March. So you may as well get used to her there. What is Capricorn for you guys? The house of your hopes, your dreams, your aspirations, and your future wishes for your life, your karmic rewards, your good spirit house, help from friends and allies. Women are going to step out of the shadows for the next 4 months to support you, to cheer you on. Now, during this November 19th, with this trine to Uranus in your third, oh, it's like lovely developments for things to do with online, social media, internet, local neighborhoods, siblings, and the actualization in a positive way, some dream or hope. And you might find Venus can bring you money. She's in a money house here. So suddenly you get a little bit more financial gain from your career aspirations that pop through in an unexpected and exciting way on November 19th. Suddenly 6 people book you in one day, or one client gives you a double bonus for how great you treated them. Or your boss gives you a promotion, who knows? Now, Venus will sextile Mars. The hot lovers are doing their tango November 21 to 28. Good for friendships and love. As a theme for you guys, if you're a single Pisces, you might find love comes from friendship circles and circles of belonging, and that Mars is tangoing from the house of foreign shores. A hot foreign land romance picks up, or you fall deeply into a relationship with somebody in your church or your temple or your spiritual community. Sizzling energy for you guys. If you're single, this is definitely a potential new romance. Last but never least is Mercury conjunct the Sun November 27th to the 29th, a bit of a cazimi bright spot in Sagittarius, where you can download something new and a new direction can form in the aftermath of this Venus and Mercury in the heart of the Sun. Your Sagittarius zone is your 10th house. It's about your career, a new spot of bright light as Mercury burrs himself in the house of your reputation and your career. And yeah, you will see good news coming from that on the other side of that. So early December, as Mercury becomes more visible, and he can deliver the good news that he planted with the Sun in a conspiracy to help you, Pisces, with your career success in 2021, November and on. And Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising sign. This is going to be the experience of the new moon in Scorpio, opposing Uranus, happening for you in your 8th house. Now, this is a money house, bank loans, grants, stipends, spousal money, inheritances. It's kind of also money that you can use that it's leveraged money, collaborative money. It doesn't just belong to you, partnering with someone for financial gain. And it's a new beginning, something sparking here. It's exciting then, some new, fresh, luscious beginning. And because Mars is up there as well, it could involve a move, land, or real estate for some Aries people, and a loan or mortgage or all of that, but probably in collaboration with other or with your spouse or something like that. Uranus in the 2nd house also can bring unexpected money developments that are good for you in both your earnings and in your bank loans and mortgages and stuff like that. Both things are happening at once. It's kind of a sweet little moon for you. Look for that to unfold in the 30 days after. I see that the new moons take 30 days, honestly, new moon to new moon, for them to reveal their full hand. So look for that exciting development. It's good for your money. Next, and I'd say it's good for your money. I'm going to stick, it's just damn good for your money, okay? Next, the T-square action begins, the grit, in the middle of the month, November 9th to 12th, with Mars in Scorpio in your 8th house of bank loans, mortgages, and stuff, squaring Saturn. All right, so that's not as easy, right? That's a bit of, where's the brakes for this new seed that was planted in November? Maybe Saturn wants to put the brakes on and slow things down to ask you from your 11th house of good spirit if this ally or collaborator or friend who's wanting to help you is the right person. If the hope, dream, and wish is really aligned with this new financial stuff that's going on, is this really a perfect connection or collaboration? Saturn is going to ask the harder, sober-minded questions. Well, Mars is just like gung-ho in Scorpio to get things going. So you'll have to figure out the balance between gung-ho Mars and conservative Saturn. Okay, an older friend or an ally could be a very good break during this time to give you some guidance about some excitement you have in some collaborative money endeavor. This also could apply to investments as well. So get the balance between investments and all that sober-mindedness going. Then a little bit later, you're going to experience on the 16th to 18th, the Mars now opposing Uranus. Now, Mars opposing Uranus, okay, very intense, explosive, volatile energy. Sky god with, lightning bolts, and Mars with fire, although he is scorpionic and more feminine here. This is, again, the story is happening on that money axis, right? Uranus is in your second house of earned income and your possessions, and Mars is in the house of joint finances and resources. Maybe it could look like then on that little gritty endpoint on the 16th to 18th of having to dispossess yourself of something, to sell a possession in order to finance something, or you could have a sudden dramatic idea that propels you to new financial gain. Hey, Aries folk, sun, moon, and rising. I have Aries planets, sun, moon, and Mercury. Uranus is rags to riches in your second house. I bet you, like me, a lot of you Aries have had a lot of rags to riches vibes since 2018. And if you're in the rag stage, get ready for the riches. So I would say this also can incite some really good luck, because the sun in your 8th house is a ruler of the money luck house, the 5th house. So I'm going to say, just for you Aries, it ain't a bad time to buy a lottery ticket. Okay. You never know. All right. Just could work. Okay, continuing on. Let's see, where was I? Then the spot of grace and the grit is Venus, and she will trine and a sweet love up Uranus. Uranus in that money house, Venus, the goddess of luck from the house of Capricorn with her boss babe shoulder pads. She's all about you getting really successful in your career and reputation. And she is a money goddess as well. And she's going to offer goodness to Uranus in a money house, the earnings house. So promotions, raises, new financial developments in your career that benefit you financially, a woman in power supporting you in your career, elevating you to a higher level of success, maybe by sharing your stuff or something, is a really lovely, sweet piece of uptick in the sky for you around the 19th of November. And then Venus will dance with Mars in a flirty sextile, November 21 to 28. Venus is, again, holding that shoulder pad Capricorn 4-month space for you in your 10th house. A lot of blessings for the next 4 months, guys, Aries folk in your career. But just during this window, November 21 to 28, Mars from the 8th house is flirting with her. And so 8th house are secret love affairs, hidden love affairs, stealthy love affairs. It could be also Mars is, because this is a money story, she's a money goddess, Mars is supplying some really good money, a bank loan, a grant, or something you need to escalate your career to the next level. And they're doing it in a harmonious and flowing way. And then the sky ends with a nice Mercury in the heart of the sun on November 27th to 29th, GEMINI. And this is going to be a sweet Sagittarian sky story. And in you Aries charts, it happens to activate your 9th house of your Dharma, the life path you should walk to be in alignment with yourself, but also foreign lands and foreign shores, higher education, academics, and book publishing. Now, if you want to write a book, this is an ideal time to download the perfect format or get an inspiration that you're really needing. I'm writing a book right now, so this makes sense for me as an Aries. Also, you could find that you have an opportunity that comes out of the GEMINI that's new, a new beginning to travel, Mercury 9th house, to a foreign shore. And if you got all your vaccinations, I guess after November 27th, 29th, in December, the light could shine the way for you to take a journey somewhere to a foreign shore, a foreign land. And if you're publishing a book or running a book or getting a book in development, Mercury could bring you an agent or some good news or a publisher or something like that around the end of the month into early December. All right, I hope that's useful. Oh, and if you want to go back to school, that would be really good news developing around acceptances and stuff like that to colleges and to campuses and to universities. I am losing the light in my house at the end of the day, so I'm not really looking at the light because I'm looking at the chart, but I'm trying to keep my pace, okay? 41, I'm writing down timestamps. All right, so what sign did I just do? Aries, okay, now Taurus. I'm determined to get this done in a pithy way. I want to make sure everyone gets something worthwhile. Taurus, sun, moon, and rising sign. Well, first of all, the new moon is, oh, I forgot the eclipse for Aries. Okay, it doesn't matter. Not everyone's getting equal time. Aries, sun, moon, and rising sign. This is going to be a time I better write that on my thing. Sorry, guys. Hang on. Eclipse. I keep forgetting about the eclipse. All right. All right. Aries, sun, moon, and rising sign. You got Taurus, sun, moon, and rising sign. Taurus, sun, moon, and rising sign. Oh, you guys are having this energy, very intense energy, this gritty and grace-filled month, because you are a fixed sign and a lot of the action is impacting the fixed signs. Now, first of all, the Scorpio, which is a fixed sign, new moon, opposing Uranus, is going to impact you regarding home and career. This is the theme, right? Did I say home and career? I mean self and other, self and other, self and other. And I'm getting punchy. So basically, you've got Uranus going through the house of your identity since 2018 when it tiptoed in, and you're having all kinds of radical changes of identity and who you think you are and who you're supposed to be in the world. And now this moon is going to take that a little notch up, new beginnings in relationship, partnerships, seventh house, business and love, or new developments in those relationships. Okay, taking seeding, being seated in this new moon, right, on the 4th of November at 12 degrees of the sign of Scorpio. If you have planets around 12 Scorpio or 12 Taurus on the ascendant descendant axis, or your sun or moon, then this is going to be also very intense for you as a Taurus. Now, I think this is mostly good, but it is angular, so it's going to create momentum around where you live, about your relationship, about your career, and about your identity. So there's a lot of stuff gestating in the month of November for you guys. Now, later on, there's a gritty mid-month stuff that we talked about in all signs so far. Mars is squaring for Saturn, and then Mars is opposing Uranus. So the first part of that is November 9th to the 12th. Now, Mars is squaring Saturn from Scorpio, where he's in dignity in your 7th house of committed business and love relationships and clients and others that you serve one-on-one. And Mars is really heating things up there. So if you're in a marriage partnership or business alliance, often there's friction and tension that Mars can bring as he does a 6-week journey through Scorpio. So just bear with the underlying story. And then all of a sudden he's going to November 9th to 12th square Saturn. And the two of them are like loggerheads because Saturn has a different agenda, which is safety and caution, and Mars is impulsive and action. So it has to do with the push-pull between your primary relationship or business relationship and some career choices or reputation status choices or actions that are happening. Saturn wants you to take steadfast, cautious, sturdy decisions in your career as a Taurus, and Mars is really ramping up the heat in the angular house. Be careful, you might want to sign a business deal or legal contract, 7th house things, and then Saturn has his eye on sober-minded Saturn on whether this is a good idea. And you know, they're both planets in dignity, neither is going to be right, but it's going to be a time of tension. So you should take note and try to act accordingly and get maybe an expert authority to look something over, Saturn, to make sure you don't make impulsive decisions around business contracts in the middle of the month or signing of documents. Then November 16th to 18th, Mars will oppose Uranus in your 1st house. Well, this is not good for accidents, so be careful. All of you Tauruses, please be careful, especially rising. And this could be like, you know, Mars Uranus impacting the 1st house of your body. Could be some impulsive action by a partner or somebody else in your life that could cause you injury. So just be careful. It's just just be careful. Just be careful around that stuff. Mars likes trains, planes, and automobiles. I would suggest that you avoid those November 16th to 18th. Then later on, sweet sky Venus comes in and gives a pearl of delight. Well, she comes with her boss space, Capricorn, shoulder pads, beginning of a 4-month stay in Capricorn in your 3rd house, in your 9th house of a higher education, foreign shores and lands, dharma, purpose, and all of that. If you are going to college or university, this is lovely. If you want to apply, this is lovely. This is all like 4 months of school blessings. Okay, so yay for some of you Tauruses. Also, if you need to travel, want to travel, Venus puts her 2 thumbs up. She's going direct in Capricorn, and she's in a flowing harmonious trine to Uranus on November 19th. And Uranus is receiving her love and receiving her energy from that 1st house of your identity. So a trip could really be supportive of your physical vitality and your health around November the 19th. It doesn't have to be that far away either. Just get on the road maybe. Venus sextiling Saturn from Capricorn I mean, Mars from Capricorn, I need to take a water break or something, or I'm getting giddy. Venus sextiling Mars, the cosmic lovers flowing together, November 21 to 28. Impacts your school, your higher education, and those ninth house things, but Mars is in your seventh house. So if it's a fractured, difficult time with your love partner that you live with, your spouse, this can really heal it around November 21 to 28. Or if business deals have been rocky, or your business partner, you have been having problems, or legal documents have been fraught with difficulty in getting them signed, because Venus is in the sign of house of courts, and Mars is in the sign of legal documents. So legal negotiations and document signing and things progress suddenly forward with good harmony and great flow and synergy beginning November 21 to 28. And lastly, Mercury conjunct the sun, Cazimi the sun, 27 to 29th of November in Sagittarius, is offering you Taurus folk a lot of love in the primary love life story. If you're a committed partnership, this is great. If you're single, this could be some good news developing in a current relationship, you know? And I should have said that even November 19th, if you're single, this could start up a long distance love, a love with somebody in a foreign shore from a different culture, or in a community of education or spirituality. So I like the Cazimi at the end. It really offers, because it's in Sagittarius, the chance for some good money developments for you, getting that bank loan, getting that student grant that you wanted, getting that money for a trip, getting that shared resources with a business partner, money liberated and off the ground. So that's a good money ending to the month for Taurus, sun, moon, and rising sign. Now I'm going to take a break and be right back. You won't even know that I'm gone. Just before I was going to finish up with you guys, I forgot the eclipse again. It's because I'm doing an eclipse video. I don't want to talk too much about it, but it is important for you Taurians, because the eclipse is in your sign, right? It's at 19 degrees of Taurus, and so it's going to impact you sun, moon, and ascendants particularly, but that's true of the whole next eclipse cycle going through Taurus through at 22, North Node transit. So get ready for this November 19th to have a planting of a lunar eclipse, a revelation, a new way of seeing things. You may feel this as early as early November, and it flows for 6 months. And the way it will flow is about your identity. Chocolate, your identity is going through a major revelatory phase in the 6 months that follow the November 19th Algol eclipse at 27 Taurus. All right, now moving on. So, all right, Scorpio, sun, moon, and rising sign. The first thing I want to say is Scorpio. Why am I in Scorpio? It's just a Taurus. I'm going to stop the recording and start again. Gemini, sun, moon, and rising sign. I had to get chocolate, guys. I'm sugar lowing. All right, it is almost evening here. It's 5:15 p.m. on October 22. And I'm losing the light and I'm losing my mind. All right, so Gemini, sun, moon, and rising sign. What I want to say first is this. The new moon is happening in Scorpio, opposing Uranus. And for you guys, the axis of that is 612. And for you, it's a new beginning in the work you're doing in the world. Some of you are going to change jobs or have a new direction in your livelihood because there's a new beginning being seeded here, or new developments in the coworker office space that are probably quite positive. But with Uranus opposing that, it could be unexpected backroom deals, negotiations going on behind your back. I'm going to say watch for hidden enemies. But the new moon is also going to bring a new beginning. I think it's mostly positive. Excuse me, I'll eat my chocolate. So I'm excited for you for that. I forgot to start my stopwatch. Darn. And my feeling then is that you have this opportunity for some new development at work. It's going to benefit you, but it may be unexpected or surprising. And someone from behind the scenes might have been doing some wheeling and dealing about this that brings it to your attention and you're surprised. There you go. Next, so sorry, my paper's all over the place when I went to get chocolate. All right, let's talk about the grit in the middle of the month. You know, the sky is pretty fraught with tension, November 9th to the 18th. So I talked about that in the beginning. Let's talk about it again. Mars is squaring Uranus November 9th to the 12th. Mars in dignity in a home sign of Scorpio from your house of the workplace and health challenges, because it's a house of sickness. You have to be careful for inflammation or accidents or injuries while Mars is in your 6th house, which will be for 6 weeks. So he'll be there for goodness sakes until like mid-December or so. And you have, Mars squaring Saturn in dignity in Aquarius. Well, Saturn, he's in your 9th house of foreign shores and foreign lands, and he's holding fort there, higher education, Dharma, book publishing. And, there could be tension with superiors. If you have anything going on with an authority in the office who's kind of the backstage person, like the person behind the boss, the second in command, that's 9th house stuff, you'll have to iron that out because that could be very strongly activated, Mars square Saturn during that time. But also if you have goals to go to school or take a trip to a foreign shore, or you're really hoping to, do something, in an ashram or something, you might find that your plans get thwarted. When Mars opposing Saturn may be travel restrictions for you. You realize that you're not double vaxxed. You realize that the country you want to go to won't let people in right now because Mars likes to travel, right? He's squaring Saturn in your 9th house of foreign shores. So some trips may be delayed or postponed in the middle of the month for a lot of Geminis. And November 16th to 18th, Mars will oppose Uranus. Uranus is in your 12th house of self-undoing, your, dreams at night, sometimes your reverie. As I mentioned, there's unexpected backroom dealings that happen there in the 12th as well. I think that Mars, though, in dignity and Uranus out of dignity will out or shout out or uncover or reveal things that are hidden in the workplace that you need to know about. Okay, so pay attention to workplace reveals and uncoverings that could be difficult but necessary around that time, November 16th to 18th, with the lunar eclipse in Taurus on the 19th as well. You're having a new beginning in your 12th house. That could be a move eventually to a foreign country over the next year and a half, but it also could be portending revelations in the next 6 months, mid-November on, about ways that people undo you, hidden enemies, or the way you undo yourself. And you may come to startling conclusions, Gemini, about how to do things differently in your life. Yeah, for sure. And your health. Unexpected developments for how to improve your health revealed to you through Uranus, the pineal gland guy, in your 12th. This is like quantum healing hypnosis and super weird magical healing technologies. Inventive, cutting edge healing stuff. Sorry, I'm munching on your shift, guys. I just need food. Venus in her shoulder pads, Capricorn, boss babe, beginning of her 4-month stay in Capricorn, starting November 5th. By the time she gets to November 21st, she's sextiling Mars, her beloved, her cosmic lover. Capricorn is your money house. So Gemini, bank loans, debt, investments, spousal money, and inheritance are all very active for you for 4 months in a row. Bank loans, mortgages, I said it all. Spousal money, joint resources, business partner money. And so pay attention then to that window of time where you may be negotiating deals because Venus is trining Uranus on November 19th. It could be a very unexpectedly sweet deal. You get the loan of a century, or you get something really good you didn't expect. And, the 12th house could be sanctuary. It's not just like foreign shores, like going off to a spiritual retreat or finding a sanctuary. And this is like 12, 8, 4 connected. So some of you Geminis might be finding a property to purchase or buy and everything's going swimmingly well. And, you're getting the money and the loans you need. Venus in the 8th might be propelled by your female partner or female business partner to get this thing off the ground. Then Venus will sextile Mars November 21 to 28. That's also really good for the money story, continuing good money deals, money loans, bank loans, mortgages and stuff. And this is going to also impact your 6th house of health. So these are all positive directions around better health and better work conditions and better relationships with your colleagues at work and better stories going on around the work in your life as well as your health as Mars and Venus do their flirty sextile. It's like getting money to take a break from work, getting a loan so you can move to a better property or house or place to live, like it's a sanctuary. A male figure in the workplace supporting you to advance in your financial part of your work somehow. Those are all possibilities. Yeah. Then lastly, there is a eclipse on the same day. Did I mention the eclipse? I think I did. Yeah. Then lastly, there is Mercury conjunct the sun, and the heart of the sun is GEMINI on November 27th to 29th. And Mercury in Sagittarius joining with that sun is going to bring you some really good developments with your marriage partner, business partner, or if you work one-on-one with clients, that too. Because the seventh house is legal contracts and documents that you sign on the dotted line vibe, then this is also really good for that. So again, we're seeing a lot of money, maybe property, loan, possession, banks and stuff going on here. And maybe it resolves at the end of the month. Now, Mercury in the heart of the sun can be revelatory, I'm squinting, revealing to you something you need to know. It's hard because one of my eyes is really tender from the conjunctivitis. So if I look weird, I feel weird. All right. I like the GEMINI though. It feels like everything in November for Geminis ends on a positive note where everything has really ironed out well. And Mercury goes into the, post GEMINI with all this good news for business deals and partners and business partners and marriage partner stuff. All right. Yay. So single, certainly if you're a single Gemini, somebody new could step in near the end of the month. All right. Moving on, Cancer, sun, moon, and rising sign. So did I only go 6 minutes for you Geminis? I must have killed it. Really? Well, 57 really. Okay, but 56, I'll put it around 57. Okay, so Cancer, sun, moon, and rising sign people, you're having the experience then of this particular moon in Scorpio trining your ascendant or trining your sun or moon. So, hey, this is flow, this is ease, this is grace, this is like, hallelujah, just ride the wave, it's, I like it for you guys. New beginnings in your fifth house of romance and muse and inspiration and child and baby making and independent business enterprise and why you get out of bed in the morning and joy spark. That's a great place to have new beginnings. Mars is helping. He's there next to this new beginning. This is Scorpio. This could be very much about passion. And if you're single, you might be having a passionate love affair sparking with a new moon in the fifth house. Single Cancer, sun, moon, and rising, it could be really hot with Mars there at the same time. And this is November 4th, but it can flow out for a month. There's the opposition to Uranus, and that can make the love affair fast and furious. And it could originate from your social groups and social circles, online or in person. 11th house are groups of belonging that you choose to belong to. So it could be some, person that a friend that introduces you to someone, or you meet somebody in a church group, or you meet somebody in the meeting of astrologers or whatever weird groups you belong to, the book club. Thinking about the club zone, what clubs do you belong to? Also, anything to do with your dreams and wishes and hopes for your life can be activated during this new moon and the month that follows, as well as money, because Uranus is in a financial gain from the career house, the acquisitions and great gains from one's career, the 11th, and Mars is in a money luck house. So you could have some real momentum in your finances going forward, especially from your career, from the moon in this beginning of this month, November 4th. Then Mars will square Saturn on November 9th to 12th, and later Mars will oppose Uranus November 16 to 18. So that's the gritty middle of the month, like gritty, sand in your eye. I know the feeling. So Mars squaring from your fifth house of play, fun, and pleasure and action. Mars is very athletic there. I bet you some of you Cancer suddenly got your workout gear out. Mars squaring Saturn November 9 to 12. Well, Saturn in Aquarius in your eighth house of finances, like bank loans and investments, spousal money, inheritances. Well, Saturn wants to go conservative and safe, and Mars is ambitious and excited. Mars in your fifth house wants to speculate. He wants to take a risk. He wants to bet on the horse, go to the lottery, go to the casino, play a game, or buy a very risky investment. Saturn would try to kibosh that. Or an authority figure in charge of your money is trying to rein in your spending on pleasurable activities, something like that. November 9th to the 12th, you might be the one trying to rein in your own spending habits. And you might be the Saturnian voice of reason. Then later on, November 16th to the 18th, a lot of Cancer risings get to feel that Uranus coming into the story. So Mars, of course, is still in your fifth house, but Uranus is actually going through Taurus, which is that 11th house of good spirit and hopes, dreams, and wishes, and great gains from your career. Certainly, this could be really good for money. And I would say, though, it comes with tension. Mars opposing Uranus could be almost like having to push strongly and in a very fast and hard way for some gain in your career, making a very executive, fast-paced decision around independent business that you have or own. That's possible. With Uranus in the house of hopes, dreams, and wishes, you keep changing your mind about what you really want to do when you grow up or who you want to be in terms of your best life, And Mars is pushing from the fifth about what's your joy, what's your fun, what's your play, what's your pleasure. Those are big questions right now for a lot of Cancer rising and Sun and Moon as well. So keep that in mind. I do think that the eclipse on the 19th is happening in Taurus in the house of your hopes, dreams, and wishes with Uranus co-present will dramatically shift what you think you want in your life over the next 18 months with the beginning of that process mid-November, now on the 19th. And you might find that because the first eclipse is lunar, it might unfold as a revelatory experience, seeing things anew. And you might find also that things move at a fast pace around your career, redirection and reassessment, and because it's the way you receive the rewards of your career that's under scrutiny here, and the deeper dreams and wishes you have for your life. Keep all of that in mind because it's a longer eclipse story over the course of the next 18 months. Then Venus will offer her sweetness, the grace and the grit when she trines Uranus on November the 19th. Yeah, that's the eclipse day, but still all co-present. She's offering a soft spot in the sky. The trine is Capricorn Venus with their shoulder pads, Uranus in your 11th house of good spirit. A business partner, a friend, an ally, or a loved one, significant other could offer you some kind of really sweet deal that expands your hopes and dreams and wishes or financially benefits you. And legal documents and contracts signed at this juncture as well can be lucrative or supportive of your greater dreams, but also your financial gains from your career. And Venus will be in that 7th house of significant other for until March. And if you're a single Cancer sun or rising sign and you're looking for a friendly love story that goes the distance, that endures, that someone you can be friends with and you can stick with for a long time, well, the gate's open for this. And who knows, maybe the first gate that opens over this 4-month transit is during this Venus sextile, a trine Uranus. This might imply a friendship emerging as a love story, someone you know in social groups becoming enamored of you or vice versa. Lastly, Venus sextiling Mars, second to lastly, November 21 to 28. Well, that sextile looks to me a lot like flirty fun and romantic dancing. Now, because Mars is so passionate when he's in that 5th house and so gung-ho for sex and flirt and fun and action, I think that there's a lot of excitement going on for you guys from the Mars in the 5th. And with a sextile to Venus in the 7th, this could be dating somebody that you're going to get serious with quickly. This could be you and your already existing long-term partner doing something fun and exciting together. It could be traveling. For instance, Mars loves to journey somewhere, and it's a romantic vacation of the century. But Venus is a money goddess in a money house, and Mars is sitting in Venus is a money goddess in a contractual house, and Mars is sitting in a money house. So for some of you, Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Risings, there's signings of documents that affect you financially in a good way in the last week of November. And then last, Mercury in the heart of the Sun in Sagittarius, November 27 to 29, is a sky story about better health and better health protocols through revelation and news and study and new understanding that comes out of that, or new developments in your work and career and collegiate and coworker relationships that Mercury can give you as he goes into the heart of the Sun for a new message from the Sun to impact you positively in career, work routines, and health routines. All right. Thanks for listening. And we're going to go on to the next sign. And I'm trying my stupid stopwatch method, and my phone keeps closing up. Okay, 1:05. And this is not accurate, but it's better than nothing. All right, next sign is Leo. Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising sign people. So For you guys, you're going to have the angularity factor, like the Aquarians and the Taurians and the Scorpios, where you feel this gritty tension in mid-month the most of all. So keep that in mind, especially if you're a Leo rising, but the Sun and Moon too. I'm just giving you a gist there. Let's start at the beginning of the sky story. So in the very beginning, there's a new moon, and that happens to occur in Scorpio at 12 degrees. So of course, we have planets anywhere at the 12th degree of Leo, sun, moon, or rising sign. You're going to feel it a lot more because it's going to be square your ascendant or your moon or your sun. Now, this particular place is where you live, and it's your home, and it's your land, and it's your root and your anchor, and it's the house of your mother. Now, Mars is close by, maybe conflict in the domestic life, fights with your spouse or partner or people living in the house with you. You're going to feel that for 6 weeks. Mars, October 30th to mid-December, is in the fourth house, but it is going to be the moon that is going to offer something new from the home environment. So a lot of you Leo, sun, moon, and risings may change something in your home, construct a new or renovate or do something in the home. Mars there can renovate the home, do some construction in the home. You can move and change your home or want to change your home during this time when Mars is there. But also the new moon is offering you something new in and from the home. And so November 4th, add a month, see what that looks like. With Uranus in the 10th, it could be about your career. In the 10th house, Uranus can be about how you're using technology or the internet. And maybe you're going to have a new beginning or new development going on November 4th, add a month in your career and home connection. Now, with the gritty part of the sky coming up for you, November 12th to 9th to 12th, and then 16th to 18th. So November 9th to 12th, Mars is squaring Saturn. Mars and Scorpio from your home squaring Saturn in the house of marriage. No two ways about it. This is conflict with your spouse. So a lot of you Leo risings, especially, but sun and moon can feel it. You might find you're having disagreements with your significant other during that window of time of the 9th to the 12th. Try to temper it. This too shall pass. Now, business contracts, legal agreements, and business partners also fraught with tension. You may have to breathe through this time for sure. Mars will oppose Uranus in your career house directly on November 16th to the 18th. This can be really exciting, or it can be really scary, or it can be really trying. It depends on where you're at in your life. Mars is like, this is volatile and combustible, but Mars wants to make a stand for something in the home. Uranus is electrifying your 10th house. I don't know what it could be, honestly. It could be anything from tension between your career ambitions and directions or expectations of others for your career and what you really want to do in and from your home. I think that the home with Mars down there and the sun and Mercury and, this is all happening, mid-November, is really very much probably a call for the home to win. There's a stellium in the house of home and for the career to take a bit of a back seat, but I could be wrong. What else can I say? The sky story also speaks to anything else about that? Well, Uranus can bring unexpected changes in your career, but he's been doing that since 2018 and will continue for a few more years. So it could be a point of unexpected developments in the month that follows, around your career. I mean, not the month that follows, in the days of November 16th to the 18th. Like shocking, unexpected career news coming at you from the boss or someone in authority. All right, then Venus is trining from Capricorn with her boss shoulder pads on, being very businesslike, trining Uranus in your career house. Now, this is a female support energy, a woman. What did I say? Venus in Capricorn. Sorry, Venus in Capricorn from your 6th house of work and the work co-workers and the people you work with. Okay, trining Uranus, support from a female in your office, support from women in your working environment. This is good for your health as well. A woman supporting your health, cosmetic health procedures. I don't know, but just goodness happening in the health part of the chart, but also in the work part. And a woman may be involved because Venus can be a female who's propelling it. Venus in your 6th house for 4 months does improve your work routines and your health routines. Okay, over 4 months until March. So keep that in mind. The trine to Uranus is like a spark is lit, right? And on the 19th, there's that eclipse as well in Taurus, and that's in your career house. Now, it's a lunar eclipse, but it's the first of a series of North Node eclipses in your 10th house. So you're going to make changes in your career, Leos, no doubt about it. And yet, also, this first eclipse lunar unfolds November 19th at 6 months. You may be finding revelatory insights about your career that you're going to use and harness for your career. Okay, keep that in mind. It doesn't have to be your hand is forced. Venus is sextiling Mars, and they're the cosmic lovers in a tango, November 21 to 28th. This is happening with, of course, Venus, as I said, in the work and health protocol 6th house, and Mars is doing his dance, of course, as we already mentioned, in your house of home. This is a balance between work and home, between health and work and home, between things you're doing in your home and your health and your work, or things from home connected to your work, or a decision to work from home. All right, period. So simple. And it feels really good for you, and you're really loving it, and you're just not going to just head to the office anymore. This is a house of the mother where this is happening too, the 4th house. So this could be a harmony restored with the mother if there's been a falling out or difficulty as well. At the end of the month, Mercury will conjunct the sun. It's called GEMINI, and this time, November 27 to 29th, he does it in Sagittarius, end of the sky, end of the month, sweet sky, is some new birth of new beginning in the house of children, conception and childbearing, romantic love, hopes and like what gives you joy, what sparks you, what inspires you, play, fun, and pleasure. Because it's Mercury, he's getting assignment from the sun. So, you know, if you're wanting to conceive a child, this has got fertility all over it. But if you're not in the market for a baby, then this can also be about, you know, new developments in romance. For single Leos, certainly I would say a GEMINI in the 5th house could bring in a beginning of a new love story. So that's always a possibility. You know, in your chart, Mercury also rules your 2nd house of money and earnings, and also your 11th house of financial gain. So the 5th house is also a money house. So it could bring you new positive, really good money developments, okay? Especially into early December as he gets his instructions going in the light of finally leaving, maybe mid-December fully, the beams of the sun. Just time stamping. Give me a minute. All right. I think I got my timestamps all mixed up now, so isn't that funny? Next sign is Virgo, sun, moon, and rising sign. So Virgo, you guys get to experience the energy of a Scorpio new moon in your 3rd house of your local neighborhood, your online world, your siblings, your aunts, uncles, and cousins, and skills-based learning. For some of you, Virgo, sun, moon, and rising sign, this can definitely be a chance to go to school. And if you do learn something, it's likely to be very useful material. You may take a seminar, a workshop, or a course as opposed to get your PhD. But a learning corridor, new beginning in November begins to blossom for you on the 4th in that new moon light. Around 12 degrees of the sign of Scorpio. And if you have ambitions for campuses and colleges, it could be good news developing with Uranus in the 9th house up there opposite this moon. Could be exciting, exhilarating developments in the educational axis. If you want to take a trip or travel, whether it's foreign or domestic, that thing opens up for you in mid-November as well. You may plan a trip, or you may get to take a trip as well. I mean, November 4th, add a month. Oh my God. Next, I would also say that you could think of your relationships to your siblings, getting a new beginning or a new start. If you've been estranged, this could be an opening or a doorway for a lot of Virgos to a deeper connection to a sibling that you may have been out of touch with. All right. If you market merchandise and sell stuff, that 3rd house is good for that. And this is also good for some real strength in the next month in the feature of the marketing, merchandising. If you work in a local environment like a coffee shop or a restaurant or a bar, that's 3rd house stuff, new beginnings, new job in those areas, okay, new employment opportunities for some Virgos, sun, moon, and rising sign. Then the gritty mid-month, November 9th to the 18th, we start November 9th to the 12th with Mars opposing Uranus. Mars is moving through that 3rd house. You could have a conflict with an aunt, an uncle, a cousin, a sibling, or somebody in your local neighborhood. And there's tension, and Mars is there for a while. But Mars is there also to support you, and he's in Scorpio, his indignity. Stand your ground, hold your boundaries, hold strong for what you believe. Again, if you're looking for work, because this is a neighborhood house and Mars is pounding the pavement for you, you're going to find something, and it's going to be really good. Mars will make sure you find the best job possible. He'd rather you be like in a weight room or a gym or something than in a, well, he likes bars too, actually. So whatever you do. And then also But the grit. He's squaring Saturn during that window of time, the 9th to the 12th. Now, squaring Saturn. Well, Saturn's a party pooper. Saturn's all serious and sober and realistic, and he's in the house of employment. So the work protocols or the health protocols. So Saturn might go, you can't take that job, it's too unhealthy, or stern Saturn in the workplace, if you already have a job, could be squashing something that you really want to do in your local environment, or a trip you want to take. The boss says no. You've got conflict between trips, travels, local authority, and the boss or some authority figure in your work. This gives way to an opposition from Mars to Uranus, and that also activates that 9th house thing. I think it's a yearning for a trip for some of you, an unexpected opportunity to travel. But because we're still in a gritty T-square, I don't think you can resolve those things right away. So you have to wait till after the 18th of November to decide what you're going to do. If you're going to school, the exciting new developments in your higher education are unfolding here. I'd like the excitement of Uranus. You may be excited in a good way. Unexpected positive developments could be happening. Venus will trine Uranus in a lovely energy on November 19th, the same day as the eclipse. Now, Venus is in Capricorn for 4 months, helping you with love, romance, inspiration, fun, play, pleasure, and childbearing stuff. If you don't want a baby and she's there for 4 months, be careful. She's likely to deliver a child who's a female. But on the other side, she's also going to want you to have more fun. Venus is the goddess of fun, play, pleasure, and sex. And she's in the house of her happy spot, fun, play, pleasure, and sex. She's in the house of her joy. This is so good for you, Virgo, sun, moon, and rising signs. You're going to just open up to fun, play, and pleasure. You're just going to go for it. You're just going to find your groove. Just don't get pregnant or get your partner pregnant. So keep that in mind. And, then there's this trine from Uranus on the 19th as well. And Uranus is saying unexpected opportunities to go on a trip, travel. Yay, exciting, or exciting developments and trips and travel, foreign lands, foreign shores. If you're single, a romance with someone with a different culture or a foreign shore or a different language, that's all very possible around November 19th. The lunar eclipse is opening a gateway of lunar new revelations and understanding. November 19th at 6 months in your 9th house. And it's happening at 27 degrees. It's Algol. Some things that you may have wanted may be cut off. You may suddenly lose your head over a trip and decide it's not right, or a career ambition, academic ambition. But the upside of this is that the eclipse is giving you revelatory new understanding of things to do with higher education. So if you're in school, you may take one course that turns everything around for you. You realize, oh my God, I'm going in that direction, or I'll change my major. It's going to happen in the 6 months from mid-November. Or you go to a foreign land, love it so much, you decide you're going to move there or buy a property there. Exciting developments through revelation in that 9th house over these 6 months. Lastly, we're coming to the finish line. Venus is sextiling Mars November 21 to 28. This is a very flirty and fun thing. Mars is happening in your 3rd house of trips and travel, skills-based education, siblings, aunts, and uncles, and neighborhood. And Venus is in the house of pleasure, fun, and joy, and play. Sex. Just seems to me like, oh my God, you're having fun. November 21 to 28, maybe you're out with your beau, your girl, and you're having a good time. You're playing, you're having the time of your life. I want to sing a song, the time of your life, really good fun. Also good for your money. And you could get some kind of promotion or raise if you have a 3rd house occupation. That would be writing, online stuff, bars, pubs, and restaurants, etc., local neighborhood gigs. All right. And then at the end of it all, Mercury in the heart of the sun. Oh my God, am I recording? Thank God I am. Mercury in the heart of the sun at the end of the day, November 27th to 29th in Sagittarius, spiking and sparking good things in your home. This is your real estate, where you live, domestic environment. Mercury will get some news from the sun. He'll listen in and get his ear to the sun for some developments that should unfold in December, maybe about where you live, maybe some upgrades, maybe some new developments, maybe a decision or an opportunity to relocate. Maybe your landlord says, I'll reduce your rent. Who knows? Good news in that part of the chart. How fun for you. And a bit of a change of trajectory as well. All right, I'm at 119 and we're moving past Virgo to Libra. All right, Libra sun, moon, and rising sign. Yeah, I'm gonna see my sky here. Okay, so I'm done. I'm gonna make a pizza. Maybe I'll order a pizza. Mercury, sun, moon, and rising sign. What we've got going on here. Libra, sun, moon, and rising sign. What we've got going on here is a whole lot of action in the money story, right? The new moon is happening in the money story. The eclipses will be happening in the money story. So we got a lot of money action starting now that will last a year and a half. So first of all, the new moon in the second house of earned income possessions could very well give you an earnings boost, new beginning, or a new way to make money, or a new possession. And sometimes a possession is a home. So don't forget, possessions, everything from your sofa to a piece of real estate. The new moon opens a gateway for this on November 4th and offers you something there. However, it is opposite Uranus on the 8th, and you may have some challenges with financing, mortgages, spousal disagreements on joint resources and monies. Can't get the inheritance liberated right away, who knows? But the new moon is also maybe cooperating with unexpected good news coming from that 8th house as well. I'm not going to say it's all bad. So you could find money coming to you that someone owed you, and all of a sudden you have money to buy something like a beautiful piece of furniture or a piece of property or something like that. Now, you are also going to experience this Mars opposition to Uranus on November 9th, Mars square to Saturn, I should say, on November 9th to 12th, and then later opposing Uranus November 16th to 18th. So we got a mid-month grid. Now let's go about the story. Given that Mars will be in your second house of money, all right, for a long time, 6 weeks, October 30th to mid-December, he's definitely activating good money stories. Oh no, not a low battery. Give me a minute. I meant to plug this in before I started. If I lose this charge, I'm going to just quit. Honest to God. Sorry, guys. I'm in my sweats today because I'm getting over my COVID. So bear with my not my COVID. Oh my God. Probably it is COVID. I had pink eye. It's supposed to be a COVID thing. Anyway, my daughter has the worst cold of a century. She says it's worse than COVID. That's how unbad COVID is for young people who are healthy. She got the cold of the century. Okay, because she had COVID, right? Without a vaccination. All right, back to the story. Where was I? I'm charging. I forgot where I left off. Mars squaring Saturn, yes, and then opposing Uranus. Okay, so I think I was at Mars opposing Uranus. Okay. So unexpected possibilities or developments around getting money that you didn't have access to, or an investment like Bitcoin or something taking off and allowing you to create more money here or to buy a possession here. These things could be possible, but also because it's an opposition between Mars and Uranus, November 16th to 18th, I'd say you might find yourself coming into unexpected obstacles to things you wish to possess from a money resource house like banks, bank loans, credit cards, and stuff like that. Taxes as well. Then later, Venus will trine Venus in Capricorn, coming from your fourth house of home and real estate, will trine Uranus in the 8th. Now, this is good. This is if you've got a logjam about getting bank loans or money for real estate developments, investments to redecorate or beautify your home, home equity loans, or resources that you can get from inheritances or your spouse, or business partnerships that apply to your home and home life. Those things really soften around November 19th and things start to move forward in your favor. Venus sweetens up the deal. And also you might find a woman is the agent of the sweetening, bringing it to pass. You could also say that, with the eclipse at Taurus that day at night, it's at 27 Taurus, but on November the 19th in your house of bank loans. This is an eclipse that will take 6 months to give you the full goods, but you may have some great revelations about how you want to invest your money, your savings, your 401k. Be cautious, of course. Uranus is there. You might make radically crazy decisions that are maybe be careful around what you decide to invest in sometimes with Uranus in the 8th. But I do know that that Venus is trying to help you, and Venus will be in your fourth house of home for 4 months, right? So until March, that's 4 months, November, December, January, February. So what are you going to do with that? Beautify, decorate, redecorate, or buy new real estate. Those are very common themes. Or find sweetness, harmony, love, and peace in your home, or sex. We're moving on. Venus will sextile Mars, November 21 to 28. This is really a lovely thing that really opens up a lot of the money corridor and the home corridor at the same time. Things you're doing in your finances and your earnings part of the chart in the second house or fortifying your domestic life. This looks like a lot of you Libras are fixing your home, decorating your home, buying a home, beautifying your home, or inviting women into your home. And if so, that's good for your finances too. Okay, then last but never least, we have Mercury in the heart of the sun, Cazimi the sun, November 27th to 29th in Sagittarius, splashing your sky with a trip somewhere, most likely. I think Mercury has to leave the heart of the sun. You may not travel until December, but he's plotting a trip somewhere. And if you teach courses, skills-based learning, you may be coming up with a new course idea. If you want to take a skills-based course, you may come up with that idea. If you do anything on the internet, you may be sparking with Mercury in the heart of the sun, new ideas to do things with websites, social media platforms, and the online world. Finally, if your sibling relationships have at all been strained, Mercury in the heart of the sun could open up a gateway for Libras to a new harmony with their siblings in a new way, as he leaves the heart of the sun around the end of the month of after the 29th of November and opens up something fresh and new around the sibling story. Okay, this can sometimes apply to aunts, uncles, and cousins as well. So we get a lot of sky stories sweetening up after the end of the month around those themes in your life. I was in Libra, right? Oh my God, did I just redo the other sign? I might have to edit this thing. I'm having a moment. Sorry, I'm just pausing my brain. My brain went off. My brain went offline. No, I had that right. Oh no, was I just doing Virgo? Someone just shoot me. Oh my God, I hate editing. What did I just say for you guys? Because my brain has gone offline. I'm not kidding you guys. I am still not my normal self. Oh no, I got it right. I was talking about Libra in the second house. You can't make this stuff up, but I am not totally like, I had pink eye from hell. The guy was like, oh my God, oral antibiotics kind of thing. You know, I didn't just have pink eye. I had like, do I have an eyeball left? Okay, 127. Okay, so we're moving on. So sorry. Yes, I did do Libra right. I'm so giddy. All right, Scorpio, sun, moon, and rising sign. So it's so funny, guys. I'm losing my stamina right now. So, but I can't stop recording. I have to get this done. Am I recording? Yeah. All right. So Scorpio, sun, moon, and rising sign folk, you're having the thing happen to you. All right. It's all about you. You are the one. You are the one who gets it all. I mean, it is a new moon in your sign. Eclipses are going to be happening south node through your sign. You know, Mars is angular and in your sign is squaring, you know, opposing Uranus is squaring. Okay, it's all yours. This is the Scorpio month, Scorpio rising, especially, but sun and moon as well. Number one, all right, there's a new moon in your first house. Therefore, you are getting reborn again. This is your time for a renewal. You know, this place is either freaking hot or freaking cold. So you're renewing something about yourself. November 4th, add 30 days. Who are you refreshing? Why are you refreshing your screen? Now with Mars there, let me just say, Mars is your ally. He's the Lord of your first house. So he's a good guy. But, however, be careful around accidents during the month of November or surgeries. And sometimes, you know, you guys do well. Scorpio rising especially does well, but all Scorpios are good with surgery. So are all Aries usually, but more Scorpios, the feminine sign of Mars. So, you know, you may need a surgery or some medical kind of invasive procedure as a Scorpio during the month of November. It should go well. Mars is in dignity. Second of all, you could have an accident, so be careful. Mars is there, but you got to have accidents in your first house. But he's doing some new birth of a new you on November the 4th, and it unfolds over the month. As he opposes Uranus in the 7th, you might find that your significant other or your business partners or your clients are almost in opposition to this rebirth in a way, although maybe it also could mean that you want to share your rebirth on the internet with everybody else. Who knows? You could have some unexpected developments from a spouse or a business partner that had a little shock and awe factor coming out of this new moon over the 30 days that it happens throughout the month of November. Now, also, let's move past the moon and talk about the gritty middle of the month, November 9th to the November 18th, starting with November 9 to 12 with Mars squaring Saturn. Now, Mars is your Lord, he's your guy, but he's still Mars, right? He's still a malefic, he still can be difficult sometimes. He is in dignity, but he's under the beams of the sun. You can't see him, but he's in his chariot in Scorpio. He's kind of protected, but he's not fully his strong self as he would be if he was visible in the sky. So he can be a little bit weird when he's still invisible. But he is going to be, so that's why the health problem too, invisible health issues may be uncovered now that he's out of Libra and he's in dignity. So the opening for those could be as early as October the 30th. You might discover what's wrong with you if you have some issues with your health. Now, or you need a surgery, you might schedule it sometime after October 30th. But back to the story, Mars squaring Saturn, November 9th to the 12th. Well, Saturn and Aquarius in the house of your home is really rigid and wants you to stay home and wants to build a home and build a foundation. And he's been there now since December, will be there till March of 2023. And if you feel antsy, like you want to get going, get moving, get changing your home, well, Saturn is saying, fine, but let's be realistic, let's be cautious, let's be conservative, let's make sure that if we change our home, we do a serious look at if this is the next right home or if this is the right move. So if you're feeling antsy and you want to change your home or move or change something up, or get going, or even just whatever, Saturn could be anchoring you right now. And you may have this tension between the authority of Saturn in the home and homeland where you live and your first house, Mars, transiting through your first house. So then Mars will oppose Uranus. This is November 16th to 18th. This could be a definite conflict with somebody like a spouse, a business partner, a client, or legal issues that are really frustrating you, contracts that you can't get going, or someone pulls out the rug on an agreement, or some contract that you signed or something that you'd agreed to falls apart with another. And you have probably no control because it's Uranus. He's a great awakener who shakes everything up, hates the status quo, best laid plans go awry and all of that. So keep in mind that you're in a gritty mid-month time. So don't expect it to be easy, but you are strong Scorpio people. And by the way, this is your Lord, unexpected, sudden legal developments could be in your favor though. Maybe you're like, oh my God, it's woohoo exhilarating development around real estate and home, because there's this T-square between the house of home, the house of contracts and agreements, and your identity. So keep that in mind. You thought you weren't going to get the deal closed and it closes, you didn't get any offers, and then you got the offer of the century, you put your house up and there's a bidding war. I don't know, stuff like that. All right. Later, Venus trines Uranus, November the 19th, on the same day as a lunar eclipse in Taurus. So Venus is moving through Capricorn. She'll be there for 4 months, okay, until the end of March, November to the end of February, start to March 6th, actually. So you like this, right? This is sweet because she's strong and she's Venus and she's a benefic and she's operating to support your house of domestic trips and travel, not long distance, or at least probably not out of your continent. She's supporting skills-based learning and education, connections to siblings, aunts, uncles, and cousins, enjoying your local neighborhood, finding pleasure in your local environment, and supporting you if you have an online business and you market merchandise and sell as well. Now, Venus in those 4 months there is doing her thing, but it's going to be the 19th that she's going to sweetly trine Uranus. So this could be a new business partnership from your 7th, a new relationship in a local environment where you go on a date at the local pub, and the next thing you know, you and this person are off to the races. Now it's cold in here. And so I like this for you guys. I think Venus is going to sweeten you up in that 3rd house. And I bet you a lot of you people will find, some kind of travel very exquisite over the next 4 months, but I would likely be local. You may find a woman educator and you may learn something from her as well in skills-based learning. All right, so now, or travel with a female friend, but again, we're not talking about foreign lands, we're talking about local or domestic, or continental anyway. What else? Or to places you've been many times before, maybe. Venus will, that eclipse. So the Taurus eclipse. We're going to do a whole eclipse video soon, but it's all about your seventh house. I mean, there are eclipses going through your seventh house of primary relationship, Scorpio, for a long time. If you're with someone, you get engaged and married. If you're single, you meet somebody. If you're unhappily married, you get divorced. I mean, this is a story for all Scorpio folks, especially rising, that begins mid-November this year and won't finish till the spring of 23. So this first eclipse is revelatory. It's a new moon. It gives you an idea, full moon, it gives you an idea of something. It's a full moon in Taurus. It gives you a clarity, a revelation, and insight around those themes in your life. Like, oh my God, I do want to be married, or oh my God, I don't like my husband or my wife. Keep that in mind. All right, moving on. Venus will sextile Mars in the cosmic lovers doing the tango, November 21. It's more like they're doing the it's a fun dance. It's not even a tango. They're not close enough. Anyway, they're dancing together November 21 to 28. This dance that they're doing is happening with Mars happening in your first house of your body, your identity. As I said, surgery, accidents, and even being more athletic are things that can happen when he's there for you. And you're also more ambitious, directed, and confident when he's in your home sign. I should have said that. So you've got all that mojo going on, November 21 to 28. And Venus is sextiling from the 3rd. So possibly you could get into a love relationship with somebody in your local environment, or that you meet on a trip during that window of time, or you could travel with a female friend during that time, and it's just lending great sweetness and joy and fun and friendship and pleasure to your life. Lastly, you end strong with a Cazimi, Mercury in the heart of the sun in Sagittarius. Now, your Sagittarius chunk of real estate is your money house, your second house of earnings. Nothing like ending Scorpio with a ka-ching in the money house. So look for some new beginning, good news emerging as Mercury leaves the heart of the sun, probably in early December, because he's got to get away from the sun to execute the mission. That's going to support you in new money stories and make your money story better, especially around the earnings and possessions. And don't forget, we possess homes as well as furniture and laptops. So it could be also about a good real estate development for some of you Scorpio people. All righty. And I'm going to write my timestamp down for you. And then I'm going to go to the next sign, which is Sag. And, okay, 1:37. Oh, this is a 2-hour video. Yep, sure is. Sagittarius, sun, moon, and rising sign. You get to experience this energy of a brand new moon this year, in this November, in Scorpio on November the 4th. And this is happening for you as a new beginning, planting this new seed in a very spiritual place in the chart, your 12th house. This is where you get really deep with your soul. This is your enlightenment spot. This is your dreams at night. This is your meditations. This is where you undo yourself with addictions and negative habits. So all of this is being rebirthed in some way. Okay. There's like a whoosh feeling here of something coming to light, something new developing, and all of that. If you're a Sag with a love of foreign lands and you want to do business in foreign lands, this can open up a gate for some new business developments in and through and with foreign shores. There's an opposition from Uranus. I think that could be exhilarating, really, because it's in your 6th house of service, dharma, and devotion, and can also offer you an unexpected opportunity for work in a foreign shore as well. So I don't know, it feels good to me. Next, you're going to have the experience of the gritty mid-sky, November 9th to the 18th happening. As Mars is first squaring Saturn and later on opposing Uranus. The square to Saturn. So first talk about what Mars is up to. I mean, he's in your 12th house. He's very secret backroom deals, right? Hidden realms. You're not really seeing a lot of what he's doing. And he's invisible in the sky technically until the 3rd week of November. So I feel like things that are negotiating in the back room is what's really Mars's job right now. A square Saturn in your 3rd house of siblings and aunts, uncles, and cousins, and the local neighborhood, and trips and travel. So Saturn's trying to kibosh and rain on Mars's parade. Mars is trying to negotiate something, and Saturn is maybe offering up resistance. A sibling resisting, a relative resisting, a trip that you need to take but you can't take because it's like COVID land there or something like that. Your local neighborhood, you want to do something there, but Saturn's kiboshing it. It could have supported something you're incubating in the back room. This is like, it's kind of It's kind of interesting. It's hard to tell what this is, this tension, but it's definitely there. And then later on, November 16th to 18th, Mars will oppose Uranus directly. And that can lead to an unexpected breakthrough in work and work environment with employees, employers, through backroom negotiations and deals. And you could come out on top, actually. And also be careful for your health. Mars can cause health inflammation issues, and the 12th house is a house of hospitals. Uranus is in the house of health challenges. So I'm going to caution some Sagittarius, Sun and Moon and Rising to be careful around your health for sure. Okay. Unexpected health problems could show up for you November 16th to 18th. So be very vigilant around health issues, especially if you're traveling. Let's see. The good sky news is the Venus story, the grace and the grit. She's going to be in Capricorn for 4 months, and then she enters there into your second house of earnings and money. This is a blessing in your finances. It goes on for a long time. All right, 4 months till March 6th. But she'll retrograde. We'll talk about in a separate video to help you dig in deeper for better money stories. But your earnings and money's possession story is about to get better in a rare once every 8-year way for this retrograde cycle, where her duration is there for a long time. I'll do a separate video on that. And you do have a lovely sky on the 19th, the same day as the eclipse, where she's trining Uranus. And, you know, Uranus is unexpected delights and surprises, because it's good for you because it's from Venus, right? It's gorgeous Earth trine. So unexpected, like your boss gives you a bonus, your boss gives you an upgrade, your boss gives you more money. You hire the best person on the planet that supports your business and you're going to make more money. I don't know, a lot of good stuff going on the money work axis then. And then the eclipse is also happening in Taurus on the 19th at 27 Taurus. This is radical changes are about to unfold over the next year and a half in the work you do in the world. And the first salvo is the awakening of your perception about what change is needed from that lunar eclipse on the 27th Taurus degree on the 19th of November. Get ready to see something in a new way around work that you do over the next 6 months. Venus is also going to dance with her sex partner, cosmic lover, flirty guy. The flirty vibe of a sextile between Venus and Mars, that's ongoing for November 21 to 28. Now, with Venus in your money house and house of possessions, and Mars in your sort of secret backroom dealings, could be something to do with your finances, where this negotiation is really benefiting you, or a trip to a foreign shore and it ends up with greater financial gain than you expected, or a woman supporting you to increase your financial earnings, and some backroom negotiations ongoing, and everybody wins. It's win-win-win. Don't forget, Venus is in Capricorn. That's Mars sign of exaltation. There's reception there. This is really good for your money. All righty. Last but not least, Mercury in the heart of the sun, Cazimi, November 27th to 29th, kind of the range of influence. And that's happening in Sagittarius. This is your Cazimi. This is a new renewal of you, who you think you are, your identity, your body, the you of you. And Mercury is delivering a whispers from the sun of a new assignment for how you are going to be yourself in the world. So this is pretty cool, actually. Yeah, I like it. And if you're like looking for some new life direction in terms of career and stuff like that, Mercury in the heart of the sun in the first house for you, Sagittarius, can give you the insight you need to know which direction you're supposed to go in. So get ready for that, maybe to unfold throughout December, because we need Mercury maybe to get a little further from the sun to deliver the actual news. All right, last but not frickin' least, the Capricorn. So I started with Aquarius. Capricorn, sun, moon, and rising sign folk. I'm ready for my pizza. I think I'm going to order one. You guys are having a lot of this new moon beginning, and a lot of the action of these eclipses. Don't forget, they're all tied together, actually. You're having a lot of this energy coming to you, courtesy of your hopes, dreams, and wishes, and the house of good spirit. And this is where the moon is sitting on November 4th. And it's going to open a gateway that can last a month, where your aspirations for your life and your deepest wishes can be seen more clearly by you, or renewed, or new beginnings in that area of your chart. This is also where allies and benefactors are, and where great gains and acquisitions come from your career and your reputation from that career. And those are also having a new beginning as well, Capricorn, sun, moon, and rising sign. You can also find that if you have been off track with what you want in your life in terms of what you wish for your life, the house of wishes, that you could plant a new wish for your life. And I would encourage you, Capricorn, to do that. Now, the opposition from Uranus to the moon, from a financial luck house, I'd say that it's not a bad time for some Capricorns to buy a lottery ticket. Why not? It's a money axis, 11-5, and it's a lucky axis. So buy a ticket, take a risk, make a lightweight gamble. You could win. Don't bet the house on it. Then we're going to have the gritty mid-November sky, November 9th to the 18th, starting with Mars square Saturn. Now, Mars square Saturn, well, first of all, Mars is in your house of hopes, dreams, and wishes, and he was in dignity. He's trying to help you actualize them. He'll be doing that for 6 weeks until mid-December. Certainly, there's a lot of momentum for you to acquire greater gains from your career with this, and also to reach and aspire with decisions and actions to achieve your goals and future hopes for your life. But there is a square, like a party pooper from Saturn in the house of earnings. So maybe the cash flow isn't there, or maybe there's something getting in the way from the money house of the money you make that's not up to speed. And maybe Saturn, sober-minded, is saying, don't spend all your money right now on this endeavor, put the brakes on a bit. But whatever Saturn's doing, it's about the money story. And a lot of this seems very money oriented for you guys. Later then, there's an opposition between Mars and Uranus. Now, again, it could be a bolt of luck. And Mars could be the action, taking the action that brings it or that executes the delivery of the luck. But it also could be conflict with somebody in your social circles, and they're opposing something you want to do that's dramatic and unusual and unconventional in your sex life, in your romance life, in your creative life, okay? Or in your money life. Maybe they just say, don't take that, buy that stock, it's too risky. But maybe you have a conflict with someone in your larger social groups and networks. Mars is opposing Uranus. This gritty sky sweetens up with Venus trining Uranus on November 19th. Now that's a lucky, lovely energy, because Venus is going to be in your first house, Capricorn, from November 5th to March the 6th. 4 months of Venus loving you up. You are going to be more attractive, more persuasive, more seductive, more charismatic, more everything Venusian over the next 4 months. And so if you've been feeling ugly, or you've been feeling like, icky, if you've been feeling no one likes you, if you've been feeling unpopular, it's all about to change for you sun, moon, and rising signs. And on top of that, she starts off with this trine to Uranus. And I love this energy because Uranus is in your romance house. And if you're a single Capricorn and there's a Venus in your first, trining Uranus in your fifth, an unexpected sudden romantic development, and you're feeling really good because you are attractive. Venus is in your first house. You could also have an unexpected pregnancy development. So be careful for that, some of you. And also a flare of inspiration and excitement and enthusiasm for something you wish to create in your life artistically or whatever, or, be enthused by. Then she's going to dance with Mars November 21 to 28 in a sextile energy, as she is, of course, in your first house, but Mars is in your great gains from your career, your hopes and wishes, your reputation, allies and friends who benefit you. So Mars is bringing probably male benefactors to you and benefiting your sense of identity, who you are, feeling attractive. If we go with a romance story with that Uranus energy, then becoming romantically involved if you're single with somebody who's in your friendship or social circles, possibly. Or a friend introducing you. If you're with somebody already, though, this is just good to pick up the romance and get things even better, more sizzle in that fifth house Uranus connection. But the Mars piece is definitely also, you could have some money advancements that make you feel good about you. Mars could execute between November 21 and 28, a promotion, a raise, or some uptick in your financial well-being from your career that makes you feel good about yourself. Ending the month, Mercury will conjunct the sun, November 27th to 29th. It's called GEMINI. This is a very magical download time. He'll come out the sun with a new mission, out of the heart beam of the sun, heart of the sun, with a new mission for your Sagittarius chunk of real estate. foreign lands and travel, sanctuaries, money from foreign lands. You know, maybe a chance to take a trip to a foreign land emerging at the end of November. Maybe you don't take it right away, but you plot it, and maybe you can get away sometime in December. Yeah, and also, you know, this Kazemi is in the house of self-undoing, and Mercury could come and say, it's enough with cigars, cigarettes, the weed, the booze, or whatever you do that undoes yourself. Okay, so keep that in mind as well. Maybe you have to step back from a self-defeat, and Mercury in the heart of the sun shows you the way out. All right. All right, I'm all done. I hope you enjoyed this long video. It's getting really dark here. It's a really, I don't have my ring light on. I'm just at a window, so it's really a gritty quality. I realize as I'm talking, it's a very grainy recording. I do apologize. There you go. I'm done anyway. Check the description box below for, you know, information that you might want about what I'm doing. Sign up for my newsletter, like and subscribe. Thanks, guys.